Welcome to the Open Source Forum 2024 version. My name is David Morin. I'm the Executive Director of the Foundation. And I want to welcome you all from the board, from the TAC, the alternates, and all the people who are interested in the future on our foundation. We're going to have an amazing program for you today. I'm going to start in the next 20 minutes by giving you an overview of the foundation, where we're at. 20 minutes and not a lot of time, so I'm going to get right into it. Our foundation is 5 years old. So it's been created in 2018. We passed that milestone a little bit at SIGGRAPH, actually. And that created a moment in time where we want to reflect on what we've done, but also, more importantly, plan for the future. So this Open Source Forum is important because at the end of it, we have a simple survey that we want you to fill, if you can, about 2 simple questions. What do you think about the foundation today? But more important, what would you like to see the foundation do in the next 5 years? So this foundation 5 years ago started with a group of people around that table at the Academy of Motion Picture Art and Science, asking themselves the simple question of how do we help the engineers in our industry that develop open source software. That led to the creation of our foundation, the collaboration between the Academy and the Linux Foundation, and we've done all these things since then to our 2 main conferences, the Open Source Days at SIGGRAPH and the Open Source Forum in the spring, like this one. I'm not going to go through any of that. Members joined, company joined, a project came on board, and today we have this group of member company. We want to thank you, all of you who are in the room and online, to participate that way in the Academy Software Foundation. The people representing the companies, you are the one that makes it meaningful. Both the governing board representative, the governing board alternates that work with the board representative, and the TAC, that is the heart and mind of our foundation, where the code gets done, and all the TSC. So thank you for all your collaboration in the foundation. We really appreciate that. We have 14 projects. I attempted once to do an update on each one of them, and I ran way over time, so I'm not going to do that this time. In fact, and this is the structure. You've seen that in previous slides, how we work: governing board, TAC, outreach committee, and then our 14 projects. 1 point of data that is worth highlighting. So in the last, in 2023, we did 13 release of, through the various projects, software release, point release, and major release. OCIO did 2.3, OpenEXR did version 3.2, OpenVDB 11, and a number of others that we had over time. I want to highlight a few stories in what happened in the last year that are very meaningful. I will start with this one. It's come from the Open Review Initiative, which is led by Eric Strauss. Eric, where are you? I'm going to tell, there you are. And it's a story that was driven a lot by Eric Book from Autodesk, who's also here with us. The two Erics, it's easy to remember. Yes. So it goes like this. Autodesk decided to open source RV, and we know the story. RV is a commercial product, and decided to make an open source version of it and open source it in a few years ago. And then a lot of things, the goals, what in retrospect were the goals, we could say, was to increase trust through open source, to accelerate product development, and to increase customer control in putting the software out there for the community to contribute on. And since then, the community has grown, about 110 contributors. So these were people that couldn't do anything about contributing to RV before because it was a closed source project, and the contribution increased to 136 pull requests. There was 3 major community fixes and an uptick in the shot grid RV, which is the commercial version, the commercial equivalent of the Open RV. The uptick in downloads and faster adoptions of new releases. And then the news, the news I want to carry here is that Autodesk has recently fully transitioned to building commercial RV, so shot grid RV, the offering on top of the open source version. So now there's not a commercial version over here and the open source over there. The open source version has become the place where all the developments are done by the community and by Autodesk. And then on top of that, there's the commercial version that has added value of things that couldn't be in the open source version, codecs and things like that for copyright reasons. And so there is a commercial version with added value. And then the open source project has become the core of the project. So I'm presenting this to you because this is not an exception in the world of open source. This is a way of doing things that Autodesk in our industry has pioneered. And this is a model that everyone who has software, be it in a studio or in commercial company, should look at. If you're looking at achieving these goals, increase trust, accelerate product development, increase customer control, opening a piece of code, making it open source, it's a lot of work. And we have presentations from Autodesk that have gone through the work that is needed to take a commercial offering, make it open source, but it brings a lot of value when you do it. We'll talk again about that. Keep that in mind as a model. That's something that we would like to see happening in our industry more and more. Win-win from all sides. Right, Eric? And Eric? Yes, good. So I want then to transition to OpenColor.io. So Doug Walker and Carol Payne received an award, the System Medal on behalf of OpenColor.io, Workflow System Medal at SIMT earlier. And I wanted to highlight how they have done a great job being ambassador for our foundation, and in the acceptance speech, how they talked about the engineers and the people of our community working together for improving the project and the industry at large. And here we want to announce the Academy Software Foundation Color Interop Forum that Doug is spearheading, Doug and Carol. It's a cross-project open space to discuss interop of color workflows. It's not specific to OpenColor.io. The first meeting of this forum will be on March 25th. If you capture that QR code, that will give you, that will lead you to the page where you can sign up for the meeting and join the Color Interop Forum. So we want to develop recommendations that facilitate color-accurate interchange of asset used in creation of moving image, mixed reality, and game content. So if you're into color, please join that meeting. It is open, and we are hoping to help bring some consistency between all the color initiatives in our industry. I want to say a few words about Material X. I was having a discussion with Jonathan Stone, who is not in the room, perhaps online, the TSC chief of Material X, and he was telling me, he was remarking on this rise of the USD Material X ecosystem, which is becoming certainly a center of gravity for the project itself, Material X, and is motivating vendors to join the project. So this map here represents the vendor of commercial software that have adopted Material X recently, and there's been clearly an uptick in the number of vendors joining, and Material X is a hot project at the moment. And also, the contributions have been increasing significantly, particularly last year after our Dev Days conference. So I'll come back to that in a minute, talking about Dev Days. I want to also announce that the Alliance for OpenUSD and the Academy Software Foundation have signed a liaison agreement that will allow the two organizations to work together in things like Material X and USD that I just mentioned. So that's fresh off the press. And I want to say a few words about OpenVDB. So you probably know this, but OpenVDB already received a SciTech Award in 2014. And there's a YouTube video of Miles Tellers and Barbie who were welcoming, who were giving the award to OpenVDB. You can go check that out. And tomorrow, OpenVDB will receive two more awards, SciTech Awards, for the Scientific and Engineering Award Academy Plaque for Ken Musset, Peter Kukab, Mihai Alden, and the Technical Achievement Awards for Jeff Late, Dan Bailey, Nick Avramoussis. So congratulations, OpenVDB, for the award that you're getting tomorrow. Yes. Well deserved. Also of note, we have other open source projects, not from our foundation, that are also receiving awards. USD is one of them, and it's well deserved. Sébastien Graza, Alex Moore, Sonia Buneriata, Brett Levin, and Jeremy Coles are receiving a plaque for USD, and Alembic is receiving also an award for all the work that has been done on that. Lucas Miller, Christopher John Overt, Steve Lavietis, and Joe Arden. So congratulations to those two projects, open source projects, brothers of ours. Yeah. Now, all this is things that just happened or happened in the last 5 years. Now, I want to focus and pivot to the next 5 years. And that's the part where we all need to put our thinking caps and look at where we want our foundation to go in the next 5 years. So the board of the foundation has already been on this and asking itself that question in a number of strategy meetings over the last 6 months. And the board has covered 3 of these 5 big buckets of questions relating to engineering contribution, new technology, broader media industries, deployment of our technology. We didn't quite touch on the others, so we still have some work to do in this, but it's a perfect time at this forum to open these questions and this thinking to you, to the community. Where do you want the foundation to be 5 years from now? So some of the results we have already, and things we're already going to do out of the research that we've done. Engineering contribution kept coming back in every different buckets that we were considering. The main focus and the main question that keep coming back is we do need more engineering contribution in the foundation. It's our heart, and the heart and mind of the foundation is the engineers and the projects, and we do need more engineers to come in to help. We have a core group. The TAC is very active, and we have 30 people there doing a lot of work, and then an extended family of people doing other work, but there's a sense that this core group is doing a lot of work, and there is a lot more that we'd like to do, but we need more engineering contribution. So how do we do that? This is the result of a poll, and in the order that the questions and the answers were ranked. What came on top is invest in dev days in the summer learning program. And the second point was work on our how to get started documentation. So we're definitely going to invest on these points, number 1 and number 2. So we're going to embrace or prototype new tools, and we're testing one right now called Clotributor, which is a tool that allows you to build the to-do list of your project and make it available to others, for others to see. You can check it out, clotributor.aswf.io. This is where you can see, this is a snapshot, a list. If you pick there's other Linux Foundation projects there that use that tool. If you click on ASWF, you will see the list of issues and to-dos that you could do if you're a developer, or there's also documentation work and all kind of other things to help. And this is like the work to be done in there. So now it's in one place, and if you want to find out what work is to be done in all of our projects, you can go there. And we're going to use tools like that to turbocharge our dev days. So dev days was a new conference. We had the first one in the fall in October, and it was the first one. It was Bootstrap. Larry Gritz, Carol Payne, many others worked on it to make it work. And the project that participated saw an uptick in the number of contributors. So the slide I showed from Material X with this uptick of contributors came from the fact that the project participated in dev days and in bringing, essentially opening the doors to participants that are not our traditional engineers and people who work every day in the foundation, and giving them a place to come to work with us for 2 days of focused work. So we're glad to announce that Dev Days 2024 will take place on September 24 and 25th, 2024. You can grab that QR code. It'll bring you to the page. You can enter your email to be posted on the details when they get figured out. And we want to make Dev Days a big event this year for the engineers in our industry. And so please keep that in mind. You'll hear more about it as we get close to it. But we're going to put a lot of wood under that Dev Days development. And our summer learning program is on track. The learning application will launch on March 1st. You want to find out more? Please go at SLP. You can send an email at slp.aswf.io for more information. So engineering contribution is a place that we focused on as we're looking at what we need to do next. But there's these other questions that you look at that, you know, and you have an opinion about what the foundation should be doing, could be doing, please share it with us. We're not doing a live poll or anything. We're giving you a little more time to think, and you can enter your information at this. If you grab this QR code, this will bring you to a survey. 2 simple questions. Please take the time to fill them in. You can do it anonymously. You can do it leaving your email if you want to have further conversation. We are at that point in time where we need your opinion for the next 5 years. It's important. So with that, this is the conclusion of my segment. How am I doing? 19 seconds left. Okay, so that's good. And I would like to introduce your host for today, for the show, the open source amazing agenda that has been put together by Emily Olin and her crew of people that have been working on this forum for quite a while. So Emily, please come on up.